AP, wake up.
Yo, what is up, guys? Check it out. You guys can hear me. I found my mic. We are at G&M Motorsports in Mesa, Arizona. My girlfriend works here, and currently they are...
Since I didn't bring my helmet for the wheelie sesh.
What are you doing?
Just a day in the life hanging out with Dom and his girlfriend.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect. That's John. Haven't seen him in a while. Me and him, he's actually been out of town traveling. We're YouTubing right now.
Double YouTuber.
We're double YouTubing right now.
It's all about the social media.
Of course.
And hit me up on TikTok,
Instagram, IG, Dom_829, YouTube, same thing. Anyways, haven't seen him in a while. He's been out of town working. But I've also been out of town traveling and doing some stuff, but we're finally together. We're gonna do a how-to wheelie video for you guys today. Unfortunately, John forgot his helmet, so I will be doing most of the riding. But yeah, right now they are putting some coilovers on my girl's car, which is badass. They just put it on the ground and it was too low in the front. They couldn't turn it, so they're stiffening up the coilovers right now, and they're gonna drop it and see how she looks. But yeah, so that's today. That's what we're doing. We're gonna go hit the streets over here and see what we can get into. See if we can get you guys a good how-to wheelie video. Let's go. So we're gonna turn around here and give her a good old pop up. So first thing I usually do before I rack it up, you know, pop in the clutch, give her a few little revs, and then just dump the clutch and yank back as hard as you can. Back brake. Like right now, I'm kind of just floating it. I'm not using any brake. So, with Harleys, you really want to be able to rack it up as soon as you can. Try to get to the balance point as quick as possible. Like, you want it to go straight to balance point when you're riding the Harleys, because they do not like to chase out the wheelies, man. Like I said, you want to be able to rack it up as quick as possible and catch it with the back brake. So back up, catch. And then once you catch it, you can just kind of control it from there. Then you can take your hand off. The issues I had problems with when I first started was my tire spinning, couldn't get traction, and once I could get my tire to hook, my next issue was getting it straight to balance point. That was the hardest part for me, because I was so used to chasing it out to like a dirt bike, or like you can chase them out on a dirt bike, you can chase them out on a 110, but these things you cannot. So getting used to racking it up straight to balance point is probably the biggest thing when going for Harley Wheelies. And again, I run, some people run a lot of PSI in their tire, some people don't. I run around 18 to 25 PSI depending on like the spot and where I'm at, but some guys run 40 PSI. It just depends on the person and who's riding the bike. But yeah, if you're struggling with the tire spinning, my suggestion would be try to give it a little bit of a bounce. Don't just sit in the cup of the seat. You want to give it a little bounce up. And if that doesn't work, do some knee knocks if you're comfortable with knee knockers, because then your weight gets transferred to the back of the bike way better, and it comes up way easier. So if you're not comfortable racking it up on the seat sitting down or bouncing into the seat, then try doing some knee knockers. It'll definitely help get comfortable racking it up straight to balance point. You want to have just the right amount of gas and just the right amount of pop of the clutch. And you do all this in one motion. You don't like pop the clutch, then hit the gas. You're popping your clutch as you're hitting the gas. So right now, pulling in the clutch, rev it up, all in one motion. Make it nice and smooth. Alright, John, so when you first started doing Harley Wheelies, what was your main struggle you were struggling with?
Yeah, so the biggest thing, and I guess just to set the stage, when I started doing wheelies on a Harley, I still didn't really have them dialed in on even like a supermoto.
Right.
As far as like throttle control and like really hitting balance point.
Yeah.
So just keep that all in mind. So the biggest challenge for me with the Harley wheelies, 100%, was getting traction on the rear tire.
Yes.
That was like the most difficult thing, because I went into it thinking, dude, I'll give it a ton of gas and just dump the clutch.
Yeah, and it'll come right up.
And I figured it was more like you just gotta have the balls for it.
Yeah, right.
But no, it didn't work. All you do is burn rubber.
Right. Yeah, so that's what I was kind of explaining while I was just out there. What do you think the best way to eliminate that issue is?
So that seems to be like the $1 million question.
Yeah, like what do you think you did that changed going from sliding out every time and burning out to getting traction and getting it to pop up?
Yeah, so the big thing I realized in the beginning, I thought there was some like secret pill or like
magic
trick.
Yeah.
What's everybody doing that's making it work, and what can I do? So I thought it was tire.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Shinko, didn't really make a huge difference.
Right.
Tire pressure, making adjustments there, and ultimately I think it's just a combination of everything.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with like the surface of where you're riding.
Yep.
The tire makes a difference, the tire pressure, but the big thing I realized is the top riders like Dom and all the dudes that are killing it, for them it doesn't matter. They can be pretty much in any condition,
mm-hmm.
and they can still do it. So I knew there had to be something that worked, and really what it came down to, at least for me where I'm at now, still beginner,
mm-hmm.
I think the key is you just got to really get your bike set up to where it works for you.
Yep.
And then just put in a ton of seat time trying out different things on your bike, because I think it's going to vary by individual, vary based on the bike you're riding. So for me, for example, when I finally figured out how to do it on my 2013 Street Bob, which was fuel injected, 6-speed,
yeah,
a little bit longer bike, I figured out how to do it on that. and it was really low RPMs. I didn't build up the RPMs high at all.
Right.
I kept it really low, going like 5 miles per hour, almost stalling out the bike.
Mm-hmm.
And I would give it a tiny bit of gas, slip the clutch. As soon as I slipped the clutch and felt that that tire had a little bit of traction, then you kind of rev through it.
Okay.
That's how I figured it out on the street bob. Once I moved onto this bike, I had to do the little seat bump.
Yep.
And I think for like lighter dudes or smaller dudes,
yep,
that is kind of key. Since I've been doing the little seat bump where I'll kind of hop along with low RPMs and flipping the clutch, you time it right, and
seems to come up every time, right?
Like, most of the time.
Most of the time.
I'll still have to like drop air pressure if I've been trying drifts and things like
yeah,
that.
right, of course.
But that seems to be the key that's worked for me.
And so jumping from the street bob to this and going from not doing the seat bump to the seat bump, was that a weird transition for you? Or because for me it was, I never did a seat. I came from riding a Sportster.
Oh yeah.
So on the Sportster you don't really have to seat bump at all. You just pop the clutch and it comes right up.
Yeah.
But when I hopped on the Dyna and I was trying to just pop the clutch, no seat bump, there was no way. Like I couldn't make it happen. And so when I started transitioning into doing the seat bump, it was really weird for me to, when the bike was coming up, not being in the seat already.
Yeah.
I felt like that was really weird for me, and I had to get used to that. And it took me a little while to get used to. Is that something that you had issues with, or was that just like right away thing, like you felt comfortable doing it?
No, it definitely took time to get used to it. And initially, like, I loved the way this bike felt. It was smaller and everything.
Yeah.
But the little wheelies I was doing without a seat bump, I was like, I feel like I was starting from square one again.
Right.
I was like, man, I'm done with Harley.
Yeah.
So yeah, the seat bump, just like everything else, it's all about timing and muscle memory. So anytime you're learning something new, you're like thinking through the steps.
Yeah.
That makes it way more difficult. But the more you practice, you figure out what works for you and your bike. And then it's more comfortable. But yeah, initially it definitely was awkward. It felt weird. I wasn't stoked on it. But once the bike came up to balance point,
and you get into the cup of the seat, then it just feels normal.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Well, there you have it, guys. It's a little how-to wheelie. Some issues, some beginner issues.
Yeah, I've got a few more.
Yeah.
So
What
these
you
are
got?
the challenges that I still deal with now is, especially with the Harley, because you don't have long gears, you have to get up to balance point as quickly as possible. And balance point is usually way farther back than it feels initially. Otherwise you're chasing it out and you just can't maintain it.
Yeah, and you can't chase them out on the Harley, like I was saying, in the helmet. They just do not like it, and you will break motor mounts.
Motor mounts, blow out fork seals, like.
Yeah, you name it, we've done it. So.
And that's where I'm still I've been off the bike for the last couple months, barely riding here and there. So still for me coming out and riding again, I have to like almost relearn how to get way back there
and let off the gas, let it in. Yeah.
That's where the time and experience that someone like Dom has or someone like me is like huge.
Yeah.
It's all practice.
Yeah, it definitely is. Practice and comfort, man. Like for me, I cannot ride that bike for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and I can hop right back on it and go straight to a scrape, you know? But that's me being completely 100% comfortable on that machine, and I trust it. That's another thing. You got to trust your machine too. So, yeah, you got anything else you want to?
I think those are the big ones, man.
Yeah.
There's no like secret to it.
There really
Just
isn't,
tons
man.
of seat time and practice. Some people are more like fearless, so they might advance at a faster rate.
Yep.
But everybody has to put in the time.
And I'm just gonna say this here and say this now. If you are getting into Harley Wheelies and you are motivated to do it, you're gonna crash your machine. There's no getting around that. You're gonna crash your machine. You're gonna mess some stuff up. You're gonna break things, break parts, but that's all part of the game. We've all gone through it. We all do it. We all fix our bikes or have someone fix them. For instance, Cruzy. Cruzy's the man when it comes down to Phoenix and getting stunt bikes dialed in. So yeah, I think that's pretty much does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Go over to John's Moto Garage too. Make sure you go give him a subscription. You know, go see what he's been up to. And we'll see you guys next time.